Manifestation. It's not just a buzzword. I think people are catching on. And the reason I feel like this topic is so timely is because I'm going through my own metamorphosis of becoming the mom and the entrepreneur I want to be. And I'm allowing myself to expand into that version of her, of who I've always known myself to be. But maybe I held myself back because I didn't know what I didn't know, or I had lack and limiting beliefs as my dominant energy field. Now I know so much more. And I want to share with you 3 things I've committed to that are surefire, fail-proof ways to manifest that most perfect, most delicious present moment. I know you've heard about manifestation and law of attraction. And because you're watching this channel, I know you've been doing the work. So this is how we're going to fast track our way to our goals. You ready? Hi, I'm Yvette the Declutters, your less is more coach and spiritual mentor in this video. And I want to share with you the simplest, easiest, most straightforward way to become the best mom and the best entrepreneur you can be. I've talked before on this channel about the laws of the universe, and I want to narrow in on one particular law around manifestation and what it actually takes to create your own reality so that you're not living as a victim of circumstance, but living in charge of what's next for you. Because you're manifesting every single day. And what's in your experience right now is what a previous version of you called into your experience. And I want this video to not only be a primer for you to manifest your best life as a mom and entrepreneur from here on out, but your actual action steps to get there. Ultimately, I want you to walk away knowing your creative power that you have over your own life and how to use it, and just how fast you can have what it is that you want. And so, to begin, what's all this based on? There are thousands of manifestation teachers dating as far back as 150 years ago. And Neville Goddard is one mystic teacher from the 1930s to the 1970s that teaches the law of assumption. And he says, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Choose and persist in the inner assumption that your wish is already fulfilled, and life will eventually conform to that assumption. That's the law, and it's guaranteed. What does this mean? It means your destiny is shaped by the states you occupy. Basically, and here it is, we want to be the person who has the thing inside that we want to see outside before we can actually see it outside. You want to feel the feeling of having the thing in order to have the thing. And this is where all the theories of manifestation align, come to a meeting point. Everything outside of us is what we perceive through these eyes, through these senses, and our interpretation of it. And I talk more about this in my book, The Declutter Code. But the minute you shift your belief, you shift your world. Okay, so how does this apply to being both mom and entrepreneur? I'll use an example. So I have been wrestling for a while now with the idea of homeschooling my son, which will impact my business a lot, obviously, right? And my availability. Or just transferring him to a new school. I've been weighing the options. It has been a roller coaster of trusting myself as his mother and advocate and second guessing myself in every decision I've ever made on his behalf. But I've decided to step into this version of me who is a present, patient, intuitive mother who is setting him on the best path possible. And so every day, while we're still kind of challenged with the not so good reports from school, I still choose to believe we're doing what's best for him at the moment, where he's safe and looked after, and the school has a plan for him that goes along with my plan for him. And meanwhile, the process to take him out of that school is happening, which requires looking at his development so far, touring other schools, observing what type of environment would be good for him and his learning style that serves him and inspires him to want to learn. And as you know, moms, this is a big undertaking. But every day I'm just loving on this boy and imparting life lessons I think he needs to hear, being patient with his progress, and helping him understand himself more. And I get confirmation on those decisions instantaneously. So consider that that's been going on, right? And just yesterday, I get a call from the school with a good report. Great news. Mind you, this was a big deal. So they told me of an incident that happened on the playground where he responded very maturely to something another student did to him. And everyone afterward just was singing his praises. And it just made my day to hear that. And it made his day. And I took it as a sign from the universe asking me that if this were to continue like this, right, good reports like this, would you be comfortable keeping him at this school? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But I'm still that version of me as his mother, quietly observing and doing my due diligence on the side to look for other options while he's still at this school. And of course, dad's involved, so we'll see, right? One day at a time. And I know that doesn't sound like such a big deal. It's not manifesting a new car or a new house or the love of your life, but it is when you consider the big scope, right? The big picture. What this shows me is that I manifested us having better days at school, him having a better experience while we're considering all our options. And so this leads me to what I've been doing behind the scenes to be the mom and entrepreneur that I want to be, and seeing the effects of a happier me, a happier kid, better reports from school, all the while a thriving business and bottom line. These are the signs it's working. So let me reveal the 3 underlying tweaks that I've made to my life to manifest this. The first one is own your story. Your story is comprised of the choices and the mistakes and the learnings and the path that you've followed so far, because all that brought you to where you are right now. If nothing else, it's made you stronger, it's made you wiser, it's made you more self-aware. Learn to own all of it, all of you. Why? Because you can only attract in what you feel worthy of receiving. And you've probably heard of shadow work. I believe shadow work is bringing light, clarity to all parts of who we are, the history of us, the makings of us that maybe we're ashamed of and we don't want others to see, let alone see for ourselves. You can probably see how that's a betrayal of who you are, hiding those parts of you. The sooner you accept all of who you are, as more of you gets revealed, the sooner you get to express all parts of who you are unapologetically. And that's great for the creative in you. And as parents, we are reparenting our inner child, doing for our kids what we would have done for ourselves. This is present parenting because it comes from pure self-awareness. And I think this one takes the longest time to get, meaning we make it through our 20s discovering who we are, our 30s stepping into who we think we are, and our 40s we take it from there. At least that's what I've noticed in this work. That's why the simple practice of gratitude is so huge in manifestation, because it immediately snaps you into looking on the bright side. When you enter the day or a situation or a moment with a grateful heart, what was a burden becomes a blessing. What was an obstacle becomes an opportunity. That's owning your story, your life up to this point, because your story is your past, your present, and your future, and how you're writing it. You are the author. This is your story to tell. And when you look at it that way, you wouldn't want to live in the past or harp on the past, because then you rob the present and the future of the new and improved you. So you get to own your trials and tribulations as well as your triumphs and not take them personal. Not identify with the things that make you less than or disempowered, and identify more with the empowered version of you who's come through all that. Use it as evidence of your becoming, because who you are, all of it, is who is responsible for writing your story. When you stop being ashamed of your story in any way, and you start honoring all facets of you, not only do you connect more deeply with your kids and your clients, but you shift from hiding, a state of being that cannot manifest a new life, to being the woman who can, and who can hold everything she wants. Number 2, own your environment. While the process that underlies manifestation is instant, you probably won't witness an instantaneous change in your external environment from one day to the next. The house might still be full of toys, and the sink full of dishes to clean, and the couch full of clean laundry to fold, and dinner still has to be made. And maybe your office is still full of piles and clutter to get through, and your content isn't writing itself. So there's still work to do. But the first, most lucrative, most important work to do is on yourself. It's what precedes the change in your environment, because environment is always subject to your own belief and behavior. Environment is the state of being Neville was talking about. It's how you wake up in the morning, the intention you set, the kindness you show your kids, the transformation you guide your clients through. And that you can see instantaneously, the result of how you're being, as within, so without. Your environment is your energetic vibration. It is your inner atmosphere. It is your belief structure that shapes every decision, every conversation, every reaction. That's why setting intention is so important, because it determines how your day unfolds. And Neville even talks about why intentionality matters in the law of assumption. He says, your day is not determined by what happened, but by who you are being when things happen. You're always going to see instant confirmation of your state of being in your environment because your environment is a telltale sign of what you're feeling. And feeling is the evidence of belief. And what you believe shows up as your behavior, your habits, your routines, aka how you live, which is why I love doing home visits with my clients because I can instantaneously pinpoint the reason for the clutter as soon as I walk into a space. And this is why we declutter from the inside out. I don't take my kids' messes personal. I don't take dirty dishes personal, a floor that needs mopping personal. I don't take a no from a prospective client personal. I don't even take it as a no forever. I know they'll be back to work with me. And I know this will be $1 million year for my business, period. That's my state of being. And I know if that's my internal environment, my external environment will follow suit. So here's an experiment. Notice how your environment starts to change when you enter the day or enter a room already feeling confident and convinced that what you want will show up no matter what. Number 3, own the identity of who you want to become. Okay, the creme de la creme of manifestation advice. I think this is what Neville really wants us all to get. All of this, at the end of the day, leads to this one bit of advice right here. And I alluded to it in number 2, you probably caught it. We want to embody the version of ourselves who has and holds everything she's always wanted right here, right now. It's not a game of one day I'll be her and I'll be happy. The game is choose to be happy now. You want to be her now, ahead of the experience in your physical reality. That's how this works. So how would the ideal version of you, who has everything she wants as both mom and entrepreneur, operate? What would she do? At every fork in the road, when you're making that decision, ask yourself, what would she do? What would she do in the mornings? How would she show up with her kids? How would she show up in meetings with clients? When you look at it that way and you operate from that state of being, from that place, from that identity, you are creating your reality. You are predicting the future. You want to envision and embody life as her now. Not only in your mind, but in your body. You are living as the version of you who has what she wants. Notice how this part of manifestation, identity work, isn't concerned with the how and when it'll happen, because we are asking God, the divine universe, to work on the how on our behalf. But the amazing irony of owning the identity of who you want to be is that it sets you up to take inspired action, the action she would take. So you're always signaling to God, the divine universe, the direction you want to go. This is why it's so important to stay present and clear-headed and to enjoy the moment as it is now. The identity you want to own has to be lived now. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's very intuitive because from this place, present moment awareness, you are channeling to you the state of being her now already. Nothing happens in the past, it's already gone. And nothing happens in the future, it's not here yet. So the only time and space you can do any sort of manifesting is the here and now. If you don't live as her now, you'll continue to resist the present moment and try to escape the now as if there's something wrong with it. And that state of being is a form of lack and limitation. And you can't produce anything from a state of being that's in lack and limitation except more lack and limitation. So choose to be her now. I hope this breakdown of manifestation made things a lot simpler and cleared a lot of things up for you so that you can start to manifest whatever it is that you want. Because you're never manifesting a thing, you're only manifesting you as the person who can have the thing. So if we start to believe that we are good moms and successful entrepreneurs, then our story, our environment, and our identity will prove it so. So I'm here to encourage you to start now. Start manifesting you as that today. Your kids and your clients will thank you for it. And if you ever need more guidance and one-on-one support and accountability as you learn to be her now, you can always work with me inside the Mastermind for Entrepreneur Moms. The link to learn more and apply is in the description box below. And until the next one, peace.